there's a certain delusional quality that all successful people have to have. You have to believe that something different than what has happened for the last 50 million years of history. You have to believe that something different can happen.
Yeah, it's almost a kind of innocence.
And I think that's a huge part of me. Because, and I say to my friends all the time, and we laugh about it, I truly, honestly, as I sit here before you right now, as honestly as I can say it to you, I truly believe that I could be the president if I wanted to. And as bizarre as that may sound to people that have traveled the path before me and to people who actually know how difficult it is, foolish Will Smith honestly believes it's sitting here. But you know, I absolutely feel that there are certain gifts and certain talents that God has blessed me with, that it would be spiritually criminal to only use to make money. My travels in Africa and spending time with Muhammad Ali and spending time with Nelson Mandela, there are certainly issues that are important to me and things that I've been blessed with the vehicle to be able to change, to be able to, as sappy as it may sound, make the world a better place, however minute the change. And that's something that is important to me, but I don't believe that politics is the best use
of your energy and time right
absolutely.
now. Of gifts. Right.
Absolutely. And I believe, and I learned very young
from parents.
From my parents, absolutely, that you don't try to build a wall. You don't set out to build a wall. You don't say, I'm going to build the biggest, baddest, greatest wall that's ever been built. You don't start there. You say, I'm going to lay this brick as perfectly as a brick can be laid. There will not be one brick on the face of the earth that's going to be laid better than this brick that I'm going to lay in this next 10 minutes. And you do that every single day. And soon you have a wall. And soon you have a wall. And I think psychologically, the advantage that gives me over a lot of people that I have been in competition with in different situations is it's difficult to take the first step when you look how big the task is. The task is never huge to me. It's always one brick. We're talking about our figurative wall. That comes from work on a literal wall.
Yeah, right.
My father owned, it actually was an old bakery. When I was growing up, my father was an electrician and a refrigeration man. We would install supermarkets. You see the long freezer cases in supermarkets. We would install those long freezer cases and all the lights. That's what we would do every summer. So this one year, my father had his shop, and he decided for whatever reason that he wanted a new wall on the front of his shop. So he tore down probably about 16 feet high and probably about 30 feet long. He just completely tore the wall down, and my brother and I had to dig a 6-foot hole.
For the foundation.
For the foundation. We were mixing the concrete by hand. A year and a half. We were building this wall for a year and a half. Every day after school, we were coming, mixing concrete, putting it in the hole, doing it, and it was just myself and my little brother. And I remember standing back, looking at that wall, saying, there's going to be a hole here forever. There will never be anything but a hole here.
That's right.
And a year and a half later,
have that many days.
I know. A year and a half later, we laid the final brick, and my father stood back with my brother and I know he planned this. He says he didn't, but I know he had been planning this and writing this for his for the past 2 years. But we stood back, we looked at the wall, and he looked at me and my brother and said, now don't y'all never tell me that you can't do something. And walked into the shop. I was like, I said, that man's crazy. Something wrong with him, Harry. We need to get out of here.
Exactly. What is he doing to my head?
Man, did he start drinking? Is he drinking?
Well, what's great about that story and what's great about your dad is that you seem to have come from a happy family.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, fairly.
Reasonably.
Reasonably. Yeah.
He's a little crazy. This thing about walls.
Yeah, he's a little, yeah. You know, it was, growing up, we couldn't say y'all. We would run out of the house and scream to our friends, yo, what y'all about to do? My mother's up. That's it. Back in this house. Back in this house. And we'd be sitting upstairs crying, and my grandmother would come in and say, baby, you know a y'all is a boat. Now, there were very specific rules, and there was a constant desire to be better. You know, we grew up with the sense that where we were almost didn't matter because
we were becoming
something greater. My biggest dream coming up was I wanted to hear one of my records on the radio. And in June 1986, I saw a guy ride past my father's shop, you know, dropping his head, you know. So from that point, I've really been beyond my dreams. And even with the first Grammy nomination, we were beyond anything. When we recorded, we didn't say, wow, it would be cool to be
we just want to hear it on the radio.
We just want to hear it on the radio, you know?
Yeah.